Yo, it's your boy One Knife Paul, and I'm back with the crew. As usual, we've got Riley and Lanning with me, and today we are bringing you a little something special. Since last week, we were graciously gifted a triple knife unboxing awesomeness by a viewer. So we figured, what's a better way to do it than use it for a week straight and give you guys a nice take on it. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Good, man. How's it going?
Oh, everything's good up here. Lanning's ready to rock. And he ditched the hat. He didn't want to blend in enough. Now we're slightly. Oh, okay. So, do we want to start with pocket dump?
Sure.
Then we'll get into her. Lanning, I'm going to throw you up, and there we go.
There we are. Well, they're not in my pocket right now since I'm seated, but I put them out here strategically on the table. So for knife, XM18 3.5. This is the recurve in 20 CV with working finish. God, I have got to work on my lighting. Here, wait, I got my flashlight. I can shine on that area.
Oh,
working
EDC,
finish.
bud.
Yeah, battle bronze. Yeah, awesome knife. It is what it is, right? We all know about them. Flashlight. Got my trusty Phoenix UC35. I've got a wedge as well, but it's made its way into my wife's purse. So this is my work light, and I carried it home too. So UC35, awesome flashlight. I've got my pen. I've had this for quite a while now. It's a tactile turn. This one's all bronze. It's getting nice and patinaed. A lot of use. And I use G2 refills here and in my field notebook. And that's about it. I got my keys. I have a whole bunch of little pry bars and stuff on them, but I don't know. That's boring. So anyway, that's my dump.
Okay, Riley, let's see what you got, brother.
For my watch, the Citizen I can never remember the name of.
Yeah, because it's numbers.
Yeah, like something or other. For my knife, Arcform Slimfoot, automatic. 154 cm steel, stonewash blade, pretty decent little knife. A little more comfortable like that than it is that, but
Choking up, yeah.
Someone prefer, handled that way. This little guy, I just got recently. Little cheap, little add-on. Something more just in case. Never can tell. A little more.
That's right. You wanna get dirty? There you go.
And of course the Folsom, which is
I forgot to say that. I have
used very much. Same wallet I always have, pretty much, but it's my Travax Ascent. Pretty decent wallet.
Yeah.
All your access cards by a little pull tab. So.
You're carrying heavy today.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff, buddy.
Safety first.
What did Willem Dafoe say to Charlie Sheen in Platoon? You're humping too much gear, Troop.
And always my notebook somewhere around.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much it, other than my keys and flashlight, Stiletto Pro.
Oh yeah.
Still carrying that one pretty much all the time, man. It's an O-light killer. I can promise you that. Again, other than the fact that, you can put it on a hat and it's, that's the only thing O-light has. This is a little bit of a longer profile, but it fits a lot better in the pocket.
That was the clip on your hat with that clip.
Can it? Or is mine?
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't it?
I guess it could. But I mean, it's like this way, it's not going to do it because it's going to.
No, but I mean, it still wouldn't have pitched, right?
But yeah, it could.
Because it has a clip, so
it's pretty heavy. It's a little heavy, but mainly that and my keys and a few other little things.
The good stuff. Cool. On the wrist, playing with the Citizen Aqualand today with the strap code bracelet. It weighs like 8 pounds. All access pass pry bar from Lynch. No, in without knocking. The all access pass.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah, in without knocking. That's just a great little tool. It essentially counts as my backup knife, I guess. And I'll go all out to it. The Hinder XM18 3.0 Battle Bronze Skinner Grind Flat Earth. The but I put bearings in mine just because I could.
Oh, you switched it over?
Yeah, I did when I got it. I was like, yeah, it worked great on Teflon, but I was like, hey, it comes with it, so let me put the tri-way in. I'm going to try the bearings, and I mean, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's our carries.
Can I ask you a question real quick before we go into the rest?
Of course you
do. You have a armorer's tool, or what did you do to get that pivot off? Cut a penny?
Nope. This worked really well.
No, but for the other side.
Yes, I stuck it and held the parted pivot on one side. I held it in a kind of a wedged position, and then screwdriver the other side, and it worked.
And it wasn't too tight, like it wasn't like red Loctite.
No, I got lucky. I think I got lucky. It was I think Loctite or something, like a little something in there.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit tight, but I ended up getting it using a flathead on the other side, and I wedged it both in my hands, kind of like a weird.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to start a fire holding two things really tight and accurately, and yeah.
And then you just pulled the spacers out, threw the bearings in, and you were good to go.
Oh yeah, everything was flawless on that. Super, just right back together. Everything centered, ready to rock. So
perfect.
I thought that was awesome. But the real reason we're here today is for our awesome triple unboxing dealio we did last week on the show. Each one of us received an awesome the James brand Folsom from a wicked ass viewer, and we carried these, pretty solidly this week. I know I carried mine all week at work, and I know the boys carried them all week. And we figured we would give you a little three-way review on them, having three people's views on one knife and what we can talk, the good, the bad, and all that stuff. So who even wants to start? Who wants to give the first impression? Who wants to bite the bullet? I'll do it because nobody else does. I'm not going big screen. We're here to talk about the knife, right? So right off the bat, after playing with it a couple times, flicking it out, and then constantly this, I was noticing I was getting a lot of bite on my thumb because I cut my nails funny and my thumb always gets raw. So I had to actually just sand the opening just a little hair. It was a bit sharp. But regardless of that, I really enjoyed it just for packages and stuff during the week, just the everyday carry stuff. It really fit the bill. It's supposed to also be, within a decent budget. So, I mean, right away, I wouldn't so much give this to a knife guy as I would say somebody getting into the game and you want to, kind of introduce them to something that's halfway decent for the money you're spending. You can't go wrong with VG10. I mean, my grinds were really good and it was deadly sharp. I don't have huge gripes on it. I mean, it locks up really nicely and securely. Like I'm over halfway, which I don't care about early or late lockup as long as it locks.
Hey, family's here. Sorry, guys.
Oh, all the fams there.
They're running away.
Again, deep carry for the week. Awesome. Love deep carry. But yeah, right away, I'd say this is, a great knife for somebody getting into that world, right? Like, look at the James brand. You have an affordable quality option, in my opinion. What's somebody else gonna say? Like, what's another thought? Or
yeah, so I carried mine every day, with the exception of at work every day. Yesterday was a day off. I was home. When I'm home, I tend to not have a knife in my pocket in the house, so I just grab whatever's available. But I actually carried this at work. I have a uniform job. I work in law enforcement, so I have some requirements for certain tools that I have to carry at work. And generally on my belt, I have a Leatherman that does most of my dirty job. But I always carry a folder with me, and they don't get as much use. But I had this with me in my uniform pants all week. And the first thing I noticed first couple of days, because I didn't really have any need for it, is I just didn't even notice it was there. Mainly because this pocket clip is so deep carry that you don't really think about it. So the one thing was, it was a new knife that I wasn't paying attention to. I can tell you it's very non-intrusive, which was nice for carrying, especially if you have a lot of stuff.
Right.
What I did by like day 2, I used it for a couple things. Funnily enough, nothing like super work related, but like we got new desks at work, and my phone, I had to pry up the little plastic thing to write. I got a new phone. There's like what extensions what. So because this is so thin, I was able to kind of pry up the little plastic pieces to get underneath it. And yeah, like you said, Paul, it was really,
Oh, you cut out a bit.
He cut out entirely.
Landon, you've cut out. If you look at the screen, you've cut out slightly. Adjust your headphones We can't hear you.
We can't hear.
We have technical difficulties, folks. Oh, we understand now. He means it was a good knife. He really enjoyed it. That's what that was. We can't hear you, man. You might have.
Can you hear us?
Play with your little connection.
Can you hear us? Yeah, he can hear us. I don't know. Should I talk about what I feel?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. We'll get back to landing. Yeah, we'll get back to landing. You take care of your difficulties. All right, Riley.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it's decent. It's not a hard use folder.
Yeah, and that's right.
I'm a little more of a hard use person, so I do have a little bit of a roll on the edge. I tore it up a little.
Hey, better than it chipping because VG10. It's a great.
And I kind of expected it to give, but not too bad. I mean, it's considering it held up well for what I did with it. We'll just say it like that.
Right.
And I'm sure it'll, and that's the thing I kind of expected, and we will do the 2-week review or our, further impressions later down the road.
Yeah.
Because a week, in my opinion, is not really enough to get a super good handle for a knife, because I want to sharpen it at least once, or, and see how, maybe put a regrind on it, see if it works. I mean, I actually like the angle it's on, but
yes, yeah, it's very slicey.
Yeah. But I might need it a little less steep so it can handle a little bit more of my normal everyday stuff.
That's right.
So, but it goes out in and out of the pocket really well. Super light. I mean, G10.
Yep.
Little rough, not rough where it's going to bother you or it's going to shred your pocket, but it's enough to hang on to, and a little bit of sweat on your hands is not going to make it, where you're unsure about your grip, because, you do that and accidents can happen. I mean, so it's a decent, it's a good little knife. But like you said, with their marketing and whatnot, it's not really a knife guy's knife. It's more of a, but if they do more like this, then maybe they will be, for the more budget conscious person that's just tired of the Gerber mass machine pumping out the constant
China steel garbage.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, and it turned out to be a decent, I like it. It's comfortable in the pocket. It kind of disappears, but it sits right next to my, it's been my primary knife this week, so it sat right beside my backup more or less.
Well, that's yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not a bad knife. It's for the price. It's a good deal, for something that you're going to use and abuse and sharpen, and not abuse.
No, but putting it through still light, dirty tasks, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still with VG10.
Knives and tools, though, they're kind of meant, it's like me taking care of my ratchets. Fuck that.
Well, that's it. I put it away dirty. I got a little bit of crap on the back, right? It happens.
Yeah, that's why I'll spray mine with alcohol a minute ago, trying to get some of the crap off of it.
Yeah. Lanning, you want?
Yeah. So you bet. Okay. Yeah. So no. At the end of the day, yeah. So here's the thing. I'm a lefty, but I'm actually ambidextrous. I'm lefty in that I write with my left hand. I can do everything pretty much else in life with both hands. So with knives, I'm one of these guys that can carry a knife regardless of the orientation that it comes in comfortably. One thing I was going to say with this, I found it a little bit of an odd choice that they would make a reversible pocket clip, but the knife is not really friendly to open left-handed, yet it has essentially their version of like a Spidey hole kind of deal. So it was a little odd. I mean, you can get it started with your middle finger and then go like that. Not everybody can Spidey flick. So, it's still usable. I just thought that if you're going to put it,
I kind of like when I was doing it with my left just there, I was like a little pinch to open.
Yeah. Or so it's in my left hand here.
Yeah.
I would just start it with my there and then you're back into, So you can do it and you can release it. It's not the worst thing in the world. I was just saying that I think that This is, I looked online. This is obviously the second iteration of this knife. The first one had a larger blade hole and different blade steel. This is the updated version. I would think that they would have maybe addressed that. But other than that, for the price point that it's in, I think that this is a great knife. Kind of like what Paul was saying, is it a knife enthusiast knife? No, I think this is a good knife for maybe the fashion forward crowd, people who are more interested in brand recognition. And I think that's where that whole hipster thing came from. People are a little bit more interested in brand recognition, but if you buy this, you'll know that at least you're getting a decent knife. It's not like, like if you buy something because of the brand and then the product is garbage.
Yeah, you're still getting something halfway decent. People will know, oh yeah, it's a James brand,
No, this is solid. Okay, so if we take apart the couple of gripes that I have, the construction, this thing is absolutely rock solid. If this thing said, a different brand that's a little bit more well known on it, I probably wouldn't think much of it. I'm just saying because James Brand's a little bit newer on the market, they have the ability to, kind of come out of nowhere with fine tune some stuff without too much. Yeah.
They're gonna have several iterations before then. They were like, okay, we found the good one. Let's hammer it in. Now it's got M390. It's a titanium frame lock, right?
This is a good looking knife.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I just have any complaints. And what's probably gonna happen is I'm probably gonna give this to my son or my wife. I'll keep it for whatever. I mean, it's in size, maybe not weight because it's a little heavier, but in size, you're kind of looking at like bug out size. It's kind of got that.
Very similar in the blade length and the overall.
Yeah.
You're getting full steel liners with G10. So.
If you work in an office and you carry, you wear slacks or something, this is gonna ride well. But it's, I would have no problem handing this to my child, once he's a little bit more responsible and not worrying about him destroying it. So no, this is a great knife. I really don't have any complaints at the price point that it's at, especially. There's nothing to say. It's, here's the thing: you can complain about the design, but nobody's forcing you to buy this knife because there's thousands of them out there. So if this design appeals to you, everything else is, I guess, right about it.
That's right. So overall, one might say we have a 3-way win with the Folsom.
I would recommend it if you like it. It's worth it.
Honestly, with the price point, with VG10, with decent enough ergonomics, it fits the XL hand a little bit differently, but all in all,
fit your hand, so
it still fits the hand, and I'm not afraid of losing it.
Yeah, so I'm honestly, a medium. I wear a medium to large size glove. I can go between the two, and
so you got the medium large. What does Riley do? Got those small or extra small hands?
No, I think I've got medium large hands, dude.
Yeah, so it's all the different ones. So
he's like me.
XL.
Actually, I'm more like large hands.
I tend to ride on that hump, right? So for the bigger guy, bigger hands, this is going to be your preferred grip with the pinky in the back, essentially, if you're going to it.
Yeah, for me, medium gloves are too tight. Large gloves are too large. I'm in between.
You're right in that middle. He's right in the middle. I'm XL, and that's it.
And so that's what you're looking at.
So that's
the blade is extremely usable. Look at how thin that grind is.
Well, that too, right? I mean, we all can't talk about enough good on it because we constantly find another one. Like the blade, so damn thin and so slicey.
It's not a pry bar. I mean, and that's the thing. You want to
compare it to whoever does that is an idiot. Sorry, but that's true.
This is like 2 layers of not super thick paper, but it's still just. I mean, the parts that it's sharp, it's still sharp as shit. But
I mean, think about it this way: the edge is so thin and the grind is so thin. This thing is so extremely sharp that you don't need a thick blade because it's going to cut so efficiently. As long as you're cutting and using the knife as a knife, it's going to do everything you would ever want it to do. You could literally, if you have $100 to spend on a knife, you could buy this and not own any. If you're not a knife person, you just want a cool knife, just get this.
Something that's going to last you a long time.
You don't have to pay the butterfly tax.
I have kind of pushed it off center by finger flicking it, though. Apparently,
have you? I've been flicking mine all week, and it's.
I didn't get any off centering or nothing on mine either, and I've been playing.
Have you been finger flicking it?
I'll just
I've
been pushing hard into it because the back side of it, you know what I mean. You have to push hard into it to be able to.
Yeah, the detent is crazy on this thing.
Yeah, I think that's why I was chewing up my thumb, and I was like, I'm gonna, just sand it just barely.
It almost feels like my giant mouse Nimbus my version 1 Nimbus opening, like as far as the opening finger
You know
flip
what?
was.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder who the OEM is for this.
Because again, if you're just
Probably
using
best,
your
right?
thumb and just pushing, it's not a problem. But having a firm detent is often a decent thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, people put a lot of emphasis on action. It's buttery smooth. Action. I better put the bearings in this. It wasn't because I wanted that. I just was trying different, right?
And the detent is flat here on this one.
actions,
Did you guys?
It's such a small portion of the knife use that, Sorry, what?
I noticed too the detent ball on mine is flat. Is yours as well, or did mine just flat as I was using it?
No.
They're
Mine's
flat.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Mine has a little deep lockup, but I kind of like that.
Well, yeah, that's what I was pointing out as well, right? Like I'm 50% or more, and I think they're all about the same. Yeah. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with a deep lockup, man. Late lockup or early lockup, it's not going to affect your knife.
Did anybody open it up to see what's in it? Like, is it phosphor bronze washers?
It's phosphor bronze for sure.
You can see them if you look at the
they're really thin.
The show side from the top. You can see that you have a phosphor bronze in there, which is nice.
They're really thin.
It's filthy. Yeah. I need to open that.
But overall, a really great knife, especially maybe gifting it to somebody that's not a knife person, and like, boom, you have one knife that can last. If you get into it, sure, you move on. But
and again, really nice. the little attention to detail on the back of these screws, I still think was a nice touch.
Yeah,
it's not the biggest thing in the world.
It's like a standoff, right?
Yeah,
they put the cap for the screws.
Yeah, you don't have a filler tab or
and all
whatever.
Of the
You
screws
just
are
switch
sunk.
over.
All of the screws are sunk.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah, everything except for the pivot, which is fine.
Except for the
pivot,
yeah,
everything has been countersunk into the G10, the lanyard tube, everything, which is it's beautiful. That's a nice touch. So this thing actually, I wasn't even going to bring it home, but I was like, oh, I'll bring it so we can show it for the review and blah blah blah. It's actually becoming my dedicated truck knife that's going to live with my Phoenix PD 36R in the truck. I bought the sheath for it, so it clips onto the side, and this is going to be dedicated for the truck stuff.
I think they still have that $600 integral at S&R, the James Brand integral.
Oh, yeah.
$700 integral one.
A little silly, but
I think it's still there. But
yeah, I think sometimes people put a lot of too much emphasis on action of knives and the drop shut action, etc., which is like a phosphor bronze. I actually don't mind fighting like a little battle to get it down sometimes, right? It's such a small part of use of a knife, and when you really think of what knives are being tools, you don't need something that's blasting out and drop shut action, right?
Usually
that's not
you just need
anything
something that you can get to quickly.
You know what? I've never been that guy. I've never been that guy. I'll even tighten my pivots down because I don't like extra wear. I like to deliberately open a knife and deliberately close a knife.
I want
to go like this, and I want
you
to go
buy
like
a Benchmade, right? You buy an axis lock, and there you go.
But even with my axis knives, I don't do that. I'm not.
I used to do that a lot. I actually used to do it, so it was a little bit tighter, so I'd have to. But I'm like, with the truck, I'm like, sometimes I open it when I'm driving, and I just want to make sure it's closed because I've opened a package or something of jerky. So. That's me though.
Well, it's my former military thing. Everything has got to be, fieldcraft. Everything's gonna be tied down. You don't want noise. You don't want light discipline and all that stuff. So I'm used to like when you do something, it's deliberate. And it's not to knock the folks that like.
Good way to live, man. I like that.
And if you look at like Chris Reeves, all their knives, they were talking about like the hydraulic action versus flicking. You see people that have like Sabendas that do that. That's never, and I get it. If that's
hydraulic action, that's what I get with the MPR, man. It's on phosphor, but it'll like, I can get that one where it's just
that'll give away your position.
It feels good.
Something like that. They're gonna be like.
But no, but you know what I mean. Like everything has its place, and for the people that like that drop shot action, yes, I get that it can be a show of precision and the machining and how things are put. I get it. I just never was one of the people that bought into. It shows quality. If your knife doesn't drop shot, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
it means nothing.
I think it's a thing of quality when. Like I got a QSP Penguin sitting back there on phosphor bronze, cheap Chinese
$60
Canadian knife, and I'll go like this and close it in one go on phosphor bronze, and I'm like, holy shit, it closes so smooth.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What are you showing us here?
Look at this peach.
Okay. So what is this?
Perfect centering, right?
Yeah.
Check out this action. Now watch. Woo. Nice action, right?
Okay.
$21. This thing couldn't slice me open if I paid it to. Watch. Not joking.
Oh yeah, it's still eat through you. You need thinner paper.
Yeah.
You can't use two
it'll,
rows. You have to use one at a time.
But that's just something that it was $21.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder how crappy it is. Because at first I thought it was, I was like, it's something, cheesy, something maybe I could use for work, but you honestly can't. Like, even for out in the yard, like,
Fair.
Hair's the USB Penguin. It's that same thing. It's nice and can't beat it. Yeah.
Bug out. I mean, same thing.
Yeah, when you get the access log, it becomes free floating essentially. Your blade is free floating, and you can.
But I mean, essentially, I paid for the action. Yeah. I guess.
If you look at it that way, sure. Because then the action's really good on that cheapy thing, but then your steel's going to be 0 CR 013 MOV, right? The non-existent blade with just a handle.
And it's called true. I think it's true garbage. I'm not sure, but I mean, it's absolute trash. I mean, it's like the worst of the worst. Anybody can be like, man, I don't agree, and I won't care, because this is unsafe. That's why it never leaves the house. It's just
that's not assisted, is it?
No,
it's not the zombie hunter. Is it? What is that?
Fires like a rocket, and it's not assisted for $21. Jeez.
I think it's 7 MR.
7 CR. 7 CR is the Gerber standard.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to sharpen it and see if I can actually get an edge on it, but
it won't last. You can, but they don't last because of 7 CR. How it really works.
It's just
so you'll get a couple good guns.
I kind of bought it more or less as a joke to myself. I mean,
and then you're like, the action is crazy.
Yeah. Because I played with it in the store. I was like, that's pretty neat, because they had like a blank that wasn't sharpened. And then I pulled this bastard out. I was like, it's just like the same one. It doesn't have an edge on it.
Yeah. That's like the Walmart specials, man.
Yeah. Well, no, this was Ace Hardware.
It's the same equivalent. Like, they get the Ozarks, and they're pretty rough.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lanning, you were going to.
I don't know if my mic works or not. Yeah, no, it's no. There's an interview with Rick Hinderer. That's Riley's favorite friend over there.
It's not his least favorite. That's Schreider.
So no, that's my no. Don't even.
I don't know.
Don't even get me going on that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But.
So no. They were talking about the interview was. I don't remember the interviewer, but he's somebody from one of the big knife outlets. I don't know if it was Blade HQ or Knivesmen or one of them. But anyway, it was a sit down, and they were talking about the purposes of use and the design on a lot of his knives, and the XM in particular, because there's a ZT version. Obviously, he designed it. And the discussion was, you can buy a ZT and you spend, whatever it is, $280 or $300, whatever they cost, and out of the box, it just rockets open and you've got what you've got. Yet when you buy essentially like an XM18, mine came with the Teflon washers in it, which I prefer. I leave them, and I don't use bearings or phosphor in mine, and I'll get to that in a second. But when you go to open it, it just opens maybe a quarter of the way to half of the way, and then you kind of got to thumb it open or wrist flick it open. And some people have a problem with that. And, obviously over time it smooths out. And now, like, it took me about a week and a half to get mine to where it just flicks open. But at the end of the day, Rick said specifically, because he was put on blast about the fact that how come you can get a knife for half the price that just rockets open, that's one of your designs and yours doesn't. And he never intended for that flipper to work in the way that some of these other brands like ZT make them work. The intention is you're a firefighter or you're a military person or whatever it is, and you're at an accident scene, you go to open, you can use the flicker and wrist flick it, or you can use it to get it started, use your thumb to get it going. That was the idea. It wasn't, and it's more of a finger guard when it's open than it is as a flipper. And that's why when people are you can use it on the side of your leg to get the knife going, and then use the thumbs up. So people were complaining about, the flipper tab on a Hinderer is uncomfortable and it needs to be rounded off. Well, it's not intended to be used like that initially. That's grown into something else, and that's why you look at now with the tri-way, it gives the bearings and it allows you to switch it up if you like that. So it became something, but It evolved from
Evolved it.
when he was making knives for his firefighter buddies. The design was you've got something that's not gonna close on you because it's got a very pronounced finger guard. And oh, by the way, you can get it started on the side of your pants, get it started with your thumb, and then use your, and then eventually if it loosens up, that's what it is. So, the other thing is, if you pick up a ZT version of whatever the Hinderer is, immediately you will, and I hate to say this, I know there's a lot of ZT fans out there and they're phenomenal knives, you immediately will know the difference.
Yeah. You do. Okay, honestly, having owned ZTs, they come stock with bearings and they have for years. So even Hinderer's old designs,
and that's fine.
We're on bearings, which is okay. So they're going to expect that if they go get a Hinderer and go, holy shit. But I prefer the Hinderer construction and feel versus what ZT offered. And I mean, I sat on that 350 or 560 tie for months, and I mean, such a love-hate relationship. And I put a lot of money into that knife, pimping it. But this is so much nicer. It's just the construction. I mean, more the care, I think.
I mean, I've
also,
really
if I can interject for 1 second, we had a comment from a dedicated viewer that said that that James brand knife actually would make a great gift. I think we mentioned the gifts because of the presentation. Remember the boxes, guys?
Mm-hmm.
When you open up that wood and you have the sleeve with the felt thing on, my God,
with the power.
Is that not beautiful? Again, you could give that as a graduation gift.
Absolutely.
Shit, I just thought, well, isn't that great? They're beautiful. You can get it engraved with their name on it. Why not? So sorry, I wanted to bring that up. That was a brilliant comment.
My issue's never really been with and I'm just not a fan. Is the main thing. It's not that.
Oh yeah, I was just
I'm against anything about James Hinderer. I mean Rick Hinderer or whatever. Anything like that. It's just, to me, I mean, I appreciate what he does. He sells the same friggin' knife over and 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 over. And he doesn't.
I know
have to make
exactly
any
what
other
you're
knife.
saying, though,
And,
because you feel the same way about Spyderco, because you feel their designs
they're kind of a
the
one-trick
same,
pony.
and they're just
It's kind of
constantly
the same
selling the
stuff.
same design.
Yeah, and anytime they
feels-
have anything that's different, it's because a designer stepped in to change it. You know what I mean?
And again, when we say that about Rick, the blade shape changed, but the rest of the package didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't venture out.
Yeah.
The XM18
I mean, and
is
that's
still just an XM18.
And it's the old adage: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's something that sells well. It's just like the Nkosi or the Nsingo.
That's
and
right.
Look at it this way.
And just like
look at it this way.
Spartan Harsey. All of
Yeah.
those, I put them kind of in the same book together. They're high end for what used to be standard in America.
Let me tell you.
You
It's
know
like
what I mean?
when I first joined the
It's
military.
quality,
Yeah.
but it's overpriced because of the pride in an American.
Oh no, let's not get into that whole price thing.
Well, I mean,
question
Well,
I
right.
immediately see this morning.
Yeah,
Riley.
I mean, it's just above. You know what I mean?
Riley, it's the same thing. Like, when I joined the military, my first issue weapon was an M16A2. That was the year that I joined. That was what we were using. And then a couple years later, when we were going to do our quarterly quals, there was a box in front of us. We turned all our A2s in, and there was M4s with aim point sights in them, and we got our brand new ones. Nobody else had ever had it before. And you look at it, and this is what I'm trying to say here is the M4 from the A1 and the A2 are not a large leap. If you have one, you know how to use the other. And I look at the XM, and as a former military guy, I look at it and I go, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but make the quality improvements as they, you're going to go along the lines. We got the lock bar insert now, you got the tri-way, you got a little things, different blade shapes. So so he doesn't need to change the design. He just needs to make his improvements and little spice of life things that you can do to personalize it.
Yeah. We said the same thing about the James brand, right? They're making their little improvements as they go.
Yep.
So the James brand, mark me now, new Hinderer, done.
They're
gonna have fulsome Gen 6 tri-way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the same thing, right? And we get it. Like Riley's not in love with Spyderco because he feels every blade looks similar. Where it's like I can see those differences, and I appreciate the way they handle certain ones because I've gone out and played with them, and I know Lanning has too. But that's his take, and that's what makes us unique, right? We all like and dislike different things, so that's what makes the world go round. The spice of life, right? The variety, even though the variety might just be that they upgraded parts and usability in these things over the years.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you don't experience them, sometimes you miss out, right? So
And
Riley, I gave Riley a native, and I mean, it just lives with him, and he hates it every day, and that's I love that. I go to bed happy knowing that Riley hates the knife I gave him. It makes me happy inside.
Wow, I'm sure I gave you a knife that you didn't like either. So.
Hey, I don't hate it. I told you. The Rocket is an acquired taste because of the flipper, but on thumb studs, holy shit, that thing flies open, and it's a slicey little bastard because it's like, 154 cm or something. Oh my god! And it's a nice big knife.
Yeah, and it was a little too big for me. I was just like, yeesh.
Well, that's scary big for me. A lot better, but that's a big knife. Like that's out of my EDC range because of
and honestly, I think that's the thing about Hinder and Spartan Hearth Heat, because I mean, and I'm not, and I wasn't going like a wrong place, but what I'm saying is like they had these kind of overbuilt folders, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they're all a little heavy, and they feel heavy, and they feel like they're super good quality, and I get all that, but it's just like it's not. I carried a lot of light stuff. Anything that I bought that was heavier than I thought, I've never carried it.
Honestly,
for instance, the J Cape.
If I come down, I'm bringing this so you can try it.
Things
the 3.0 is nice.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. And the only one that I've really handled, and I haven't really handled a Chris Reeve. I mean, I could go right down the road and try one, but I kind of already know what it's going to feel like.
They're great.
Yeah, it's
but another knife that hasn't changed much. You know what I mean? There's different little design changes, but it's the same
21
knife.
to the 30.
And I kind of did that between $70 and $130 with the Luna with like 8 different variations. I already have a knife.
You get the taste of something good that comes in other flavors, and unfortunately, you like a Sabenza, something. It's hard to get it in, say, another flavor other than paying a ton for the weird drilling on it and a pattern and stuff.
Yeah.
You can't get it in other steels, which often us knife guys kind of like. We like the option that I could have 154 cm in the Luna. I could have D2 today. I could have S35.
Yep.
And that's one of the what
M390 next, apparently.
M390, boom, holy shit.
And let me tell you something. That's one of the things like that. Riley, I have to say, you may, and I'm not putting you on blast here, but you may not like Spyderco because the design's similar, but they got more steels than anybody.
That's why I gravitated.
I don't like the shape. It's just
no. That's fine. No, I get that. I'm not bagging on you about that. You like what you like. But what I'm saying is, for steel, you can get the Delica or any of these other knives with like 100 different steels, and that's I think that was one of their things is that they're not afraid to go out and just say, here, we're going to offer you the same knife in 30 different colors and 10 different steels, and that's kind of cool too, right?
Yeah. And that's why I fell in love with the Luna, because it was like, like I can get this thing in Damn Steel, I can get it in freaking S35.
That's your Spyderco.
Get it in D2, get it in N690. Like it just too many. It's like, holy crap,
Yeah.
And that was the thing that kind of attracted me is just the, but it was still a lot cheaper of a hobby to get into because I have an issue with OCD and buying like a lot of, impulse buys and things like that. If it's, I have to cut myself off at impulse buys at like around $100 something because I mean you can get I got a lot of curves in there, you know what I'm saying?
We all get guilty of that sometimes.
My impulse buys have been
doing that. So
landing over here is like
stovepipe XM.
He got this, and then one day he's like, "Oh, I bought the stovepipe." 2 days later, he's like, "Oh, I ordered the XM18 3.5," and I was like, "Oh, good impulse buy, bud." Right? He's just like, it was like you, Riley. You messaged me with like, "Oh,
you can't take it with you."
I was like, I went and I bought a bug out, and Riley's like, "Look, I already ordered it, and I ordered a mini Osborne,
and I ordered a bug out, and
I got that from the sports store." I always that's the bad thing. As soon as I go to Sportsman's Warehouse, it's like
it's hard. It's hard
as well.
When they're in front of you and you hold it. That's what happened with those damn bug outs.
Yeah.
I was looking at the aluminum one. I was like, "Okay, give it to me." And then the guy walks by. He's like, "Hey, you didn't put the orange ones out today?" And he's like, "Oh no, I just got them in." He's like, "Oh." They're on the thing. I'm like, let me see it. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, give me that too.
Did you see they had an orange and brass apparently?
What's that?
They had an orange and brass apparently.
I wouldn't do brass scales. I did it once and it ruins the action. The whole point of that knife is to have a nice light handle, light blade that it still maintains the axis lock action that you can flick. When I put brass scales from Flightanium on it, it felt like I was trying to close a feather on it, even though it worked and it was still smooth, but it felt wrong. It defeated the purpose of the knife. So that's why I'm kind of sticking them stock. If I got something, I'd get the G10 next, right? So that's me on bug outs. I mean, they're
And
still really
honestly,
great
I
knives.
mean, now that we mentioned that a minute ago, I mean, I am bad about that. I've been like, there's just been times that I'm like, okay, that's a good enough knife. I've been looking for that steel and I want to try it. Like we were just talking about with the AK1, the RLW 34.
Yeah, have it. Well, that's it's D2, right? It's good D2, and you can't go wrong. And then that's an awesome knife.
Yeah,
So,
but it's just a steel I've been wanting to try. You know,
Trying
just like
steel.
everyone with Magna Cut.
I did. Yeah, okay, easy there, Mr. Magna Cut.
Hey,
Roosevelt.
Can I real quick here, fellas? I'm getting the wrap it up late from the partner down in the
no
car.
problem. You know what?
I gotta run down to Victoria today to go meet some family members. You guys mind if I exit out of here?
We do mind, but you have fun with that.
Yeah.
It was a good show. Thanks.
We're gonna go to Murchie's down in Victoria and get some pastries and stuff. But we're going to meet the wife's grandmother and for lunch and stuff.
That sounds like a good day. Hopefully the weather's holding up for you, bud.
So I'm gonna take off. Love you guys.
By all means, buddy. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for running, buddy.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. So yeah, like with the steels, like you're saying, and then that's I think that came into play with my Spyderco. I don't say addiction, like my Spyderco using.
Yeah.
When I found a format that Spyderco offered, which the native was my number one, and I found it really late in my Spyderco career, which sucks. When I found that one and found that it came in the different steels, I always used my Spyderco, whatever steel it was. So I found different steels I liked and how they sharpened and how they worked.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing for me. And I'm finding random ones. Spyderco's really good at putting out a random new steel. So I'll look it up. Oh, maybe I'll pass on. Like I didn't get Spy 27. I don't care about that thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like M4 and Crewwear, and they're bringing that to the front, right? And Benchmade came out with the Crewwear Damas, and it's a beast, right?
Yeah.
So
and for some reason, everybody's on a Magna Cut kick right now.
Which, that's the new shit, you know. That's supposed to be Crewwear Plus, you know.
Yeah. You know what the funny thing is, and I'm gonna just throw this out there just to screw with you. The hell is Ultim or Utum? What the hell is Ultim? It's like the clear yellow plastic. Look it up real quick. It's like it's everywhere. It's some kind of a clear yellow. It looks like a composite epoxy. I don't know exactly what it is.
I haven't heard of it, but I know when you say
it's all
like
over
an
the place.
epoxy type of thing, I get the idea. What is that, scale material?
Blade HQ actually has a lottery for you to buy SBRs. You know, the rock eyes from ProTech. You have to win a lotto to be able to buy one with this Ultim composite on the scale.
So it's a scale. It sounds.
People are making beads. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is. I haven't really gotten interested. I just thought maybe you had heard about it, but yeah, it's all.
You know what? They always come out with some new scale that kind of looks old or beat up, or I'm picturing that yellowed resin look, and
it looks like what the outside of the Hardee's windows used to look like whenever they had the smoking section that went down. You know what I'm saying? With old dark amber windows. That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Oh shit, yeah. Well, you know, it gives a vintage feel, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So it sparks the nostalgia gene in our brains. There's like, oh, I like that because it looks old and shitty.
That's probably what it is.
It could be, right? It's like micarta in certain aspects. Sparks that. Oh, it's old.
We should really. I mean, probably not the best subject here, but we should really go into a show about that. About you know, like actual scale materials, like how far we've come through the years. You know, like with anything from like Raffia Noble to glow in the dark composites to, you know, I mean, you know, 5 different kinds of carbon fiber we have now, you know, in-cut carbon.
Oh my gosh, the carbon. No, don't even. You're going to go into that star fancy rainbow shit.
I don't know if that guy will ever make scales. They would be so expensive though. But
because he's making them. The actual material itself, when you're layering carbon fiber and putting shit together, it's however much a sheet of carbon fiber is with some dirty resin on it, dude. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
It's not carbon fiber anymore. It's a decorative.
Again, any fiberglass substance, you know, it's super simple, right? It's layering with that resin that seals everything. So if you start putting crazy crap in it, it's super easy to do. If you have the means of a homemade vacuum press, etc. I mean, shit, people can make them, right? But it's not a bad topic for another show. Get Lanning's opinion on her, and that'd be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean. Again, and are you gonna consider getting something else from the James brand? Because I'm kind of considering it. I don't know, 100%.
Right now, I looked at that funky one that was it only comes half serrated, with the Axis lock, but it
Oh
only comes in
yeah,
fanfic.
the little mountaineer knife.
The little mountain thing, because it came in pink and blue with like a black handle. I was like, yes, I would carry that because my colors are absolutely zany and stupid now. But
Well, I was about to say that
I don't want it.
I thought that was supposed to be a play on the Nintendo Switch or something.
It's pretty close having the red and blue, right?
That's what I was under the impression of.
The only other one I saw that I didn't click on, and somebody in another group had it at one time. It shows the frame lock back part with almost like a guitar pick shape around the pivot.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can't bite into them yet. They don't have something that really yells at me that says "friggin' buy me, dude."
Yeah, it's kind of crazy looking. Funny thing is they had a Sportsman's Outdoor Classic was last weekend down the road, and I didn't even know about it. Apparently they had a bunch of knife tables my buddies was telling me about it. I was like, oh, nice. Okay, well, I'm still gonna end up going to Blade Show. So
you hear that, everybody? We got exclusive Blade Show coverage.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. We've already tried Restream on here, so I mean, and I'm sure they're gonna have a great signal there. So.
Yep, that's the whole thing. Hop on the Wi-Fi, and you can literally run the Restream yourself, my friend. I'll show you how.
I can walk y'all around Blade Show, and y'all gonna be asking crazy questions of people.
Well, that's it, man. Hell, why not, man? If people got questions about Blade Show and stuff coming up, drop us a line. You know, you want to see something different from a maker. You want to
unless it's can I buy your early bird Blade Show tickets? The answer is no.
No, I didn't get any of those yet.
No, I did.
No.
They were. I got them like about 5 minutes after they went on sale. Those early bird tickets go out, but they sell out quick. So, and I figured, if you got the opportunity, you might as well.
In Georgia.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, we're just gonna fly down, get a shuttle to the to the hotel, take a shuttle back to the airport.
No,
we ain't even driving into Atlanta. Screw that.
Yeah, it's way easier, man. Atlanta's pretty crazy. I've been around there a couple
Yeah.
times, and it's rough with the truck.
Traffic's
so I can imagine it's rough with the car.
Little maniacal up there. That traffic gets nuts. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Come rush hour, you're not a happy camper.
Yeah, it should be a good deal. But I mean, and that's the thing. You know what the funny thing is? Now that I'm going to Blade Show, I don't really know what the hell I'm going after because I just got the
you do. You've told me in PMs, man. This guy's a liar. He knows, and he's going. Anything that's safety orange is going to be in his damn pocket the next day.
Yeah, but
he's
I mean, like,
I
can't go after. I don't want to go after a Roosevelt now.
Yeah, you are. You're going to. You're going to see it and go, "Oops."
Yeah. Honestly, you know what the funny thing is, and I don't know if you've ever paid attention to this knife, but they had it's a Brian Brown Knives Cortex reverse Tonto.
I have not.
I really like it. Check it out.
So that's your hunting game now.
I think so, because it's the one that's been on my brain for like the last year. That either that or Brian Brown's knives Jaeger.
Mm-hmm. The Jaeger.
Jaeger. I've always, for some reason, just I like cleavers. I really like that. I really like that square blade shape.
Yeah. I do too. That's the thing. I like a good sheep's foot like that. I love sheep's
a good chopper.
Blades. Yeah, sheep's foot blades are my my number one. Even though I haven't gotten a lot lately. So anything that's not like super, like I don't call that a big sweep. Like I still like that a lot. I really enjoy the sheep's foots.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, I mean, damn. We talked way more than we were going to.
Yeah.
So there's another episode of Knivesmen in the bag, everybody. Next week we'll be back, and I know I'll have Landing. Mr. Riley may or may not join. He has a special occasion coming up. So business has to be taken care of.
Yep. Family first.
But
family first and do everything else later, people. You always got time for other crap.
That's right. Words of wisdom. Family first, right?
We're a family first kind of crew here. We don't just don't.
Yeah, it's not a question, right? Landing's bouncing. He's got family commitments, man. He's gonna bounce, and we're not gonna hold it.
Exactly.
That's what we do. That's how we operate. IBEDC, man. Every day, it's a family.
Yep. So it's always a family. So
I just want to thank everybody for joining us and all the insightful views on that Folsom. I mean, we talked about that a lot longer than I even thought we were going to. I was like,
Yeah.
it's going to be 2 seconds. We're just going to talk. And I'm like, damn it, this knife is really damn good. You know, and we pointed out the pros and very, very limited cons.
And I mean, the next time I'm on, I'm sure I'm going to say something about the sharpening of it, but we'll, you know, I may have to do a little bit of regrinding on it.
Being VG10, Swamp Stomper, no worries, my friend. This was just an unplanned little review episode. Definitely catch it again as soon as we're done. We had a comment come in. Mr. Swamp Stomper here. He's a little bit late. Yeah, we were just wrapping up, my friend. I'm sorry. Landing took off a couple minutes ago, and we're just closing her down. And you can catch the review of the Folsom and some good old-fashioned knife chat. And that's what we're about. You know, we're here to talk the real world knives to you, folks. So yeah, as I was saying, next week we will be back. It probably will just be Landing and I, and if that's the case, we might have a Spyderco special.
Yeah, they need to get that out of their system. So.
we'll get it out of our system, so we're not bugging poor Riley.
There's a few out there I've looked at before. The Smock and that autonomous.
Well, there you go. Getting autonomous. Those are sweet.
Yeah, I actually like them.
Dude, those are nice. I like the big push button.
Yeah.
You know, made for gloves, right? That's a nice looking knife.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we'll call her a day. Be sure to find your way to the International Brotherhood of Everyday Carry, IBEDC, on Facebook.
And when Paul gets a chance, he's going to add it in our description below if it's not already. I'm not sure if it is or not, but one of us can
figure out something. I think it's on the YouTube. I can put a link in there to the group for everybody.
You can add a link to our page in our description.
We do appreciate anybody that has been watching. You know, a little bit off kilter show here, just random. Why not? So let's call her a day, and we'll meet back here when we meet back here.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later.
Cool.